His life took on a different speed. He meets with the ladies, they eat and talk, and he goes home. Days fly by, like a time-lapse movie. I worry about his stamina, but Hershel appears younger than ever and could even pass for 78 now. I listen to his dating ritual, not surprised at his skills. I always look them in the eyes, smile, and never interrupt them while they tell me about their lives, no matter how long it takes. He smiles. That's what the ladies like. I learn about the ubiquitous locations of Marie calendars around town and hope that his efforts will eventually be rewarded. Meanwhile, Rivka, may she rest in peace, rests in peace. He knows that's what she would have wanted for him. He doesn't have to feel guilty about his adventures. Soon I got bored. But every Wednesday I kept asking, and every Wednesday he told me the same stories, only the names changed. Nothing specific, except for the early bird specials, which also changed from time to time. Until one day, at 1:15, with the punctuality of a Swiss clock, he set his heavy, unsteady foot into the studio. No more slippers. He's been wearing black boots lately. No less well worn though, but he clearly cares for them lovingly. They almost outshine his eyes. Trying very hard not to look at me, he resembled a shy but barely contained little boy who had just won all the marbles on the block. Hershel beamed from ear to ear. He didn't say a word. Something was different. I was sure it had happened. He'd met the love of his life, his soulmate, the lady of his dreams. There's no hello, no nod, no twinkle, not even with one eye. The tension between us reached from here to the moon and was thick as the London fog. He took out his instrument with flying hands and put it together with unusual speed and precision. My ears, prepared for the usual stumble and hacking and coughing, were surprised by a logical, almost musical continuation of sound. One tone after the other left the horn loud and clear, with just a tiny tremble, sweet and tender, like the kiss of a butterfly. It didn't take long for Hershel to be exhausted, and he positioned himself in front of the window, looked out at the palm trees, swaying in the wind, and joined in the movement. Then, in a solemn tone of voice, suitable for a preacher at the open grave, he embarked upon the saga of Edie, his dating queen. Edie answered my ad, a very beautiful woman of no more than 50 or so. I wondered why she'd respond to an ad for a 73-year-old. He paused, stopped swaying, and turned around to look at me. Then he turned back and continued. I stated my age in the ad, his right hand flying way up above his head, as if asking for forgiveness about this little lie. I took her to dinner, and then she followed me home in the car to my house. She said, "Have you got any dance music?" I said, "Sure." I put on some CD of Artie Shaw, and we danced up a storm. Next thing I know, she takes my hand and says the 4 magic words. You know the 4 magic words? And after a sway or two, he exclaimed in a loud and almost steady voice, "The 4 magic words are..." Hershel had a talent for drama, and he paused again. I let him perform his little act. Also, I wasn't really sure I wanted to know the answer. Well, the 4 magic words are, where is the bedroom? There it was, my mouth dropped, still not looking at me, although he must have been aware of my reaction. He took a deep breath and turned around. His voice, now majestic and towering above the treetops. We entered the bedroom, and she says, "Lie down, put your head on the pillow, relax." By now, Hershel had doubled in size. His face was glowing like 100 sunsets, and his blue eyes sparkled like moonlight on the ocean. I didn't dare to move. Expecting the unexpected, I held my breath for what was yet to come. And all hell broke loose. Like an echo, teasing the unbearable silence that followed his words, this statement tumbled around in my mind, flipped over this way and that, but the outcome didn't change. I had heard right. Hershel obviously enjoyed the effect his statement had on me. I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to. Clearly he must have been joking. And when he finally opened his mouth again, I felt relieved. But all he said in a dreamy tone of voice was, "I will never forget that." And that was that. No more and no less. His lips were sealed forever. Big, innocent smile. The end. A little wave of disgust, an afterthought I'm not proud of, shot up through my mouth, and I burped. Hershel didn't hear. The years had adorned his hearing with a thick layer of cotton candy. The true blessing for his playing the saxophone. Still smiling, he continued to rock back and forth again, and I felt ashamed. Who was I to turn up my nose at him? So I smiled back, and sharing his happiness immediately felt much better. And I thought, may it last forever, or better, may it happen again. Bruce, now concentrating on cutting his steak in tiny pieces, which he then picks up to inspect one by one, as if saying a little prayer before devouring the meat, acts as if nothing happened. And nothing did happen. The 2 men had disappeared, and for us, it's Friday lunch as usual. But then he looks at me. Remember the 4 magic words? What do you say? Shall we skip dessert? Thank you for listening. There will be lots more, so please come back.